You know that feeling when you see a team that just works? I'm talking about that almost magical sync. It's like a jazz trio riffing off each other, or an emergency room team saving a life without a single wasted word. They just seem to be operating on a completely different wavelength. So, what is their secret? What's that invisible force that lets them anticipate each other's moves and coordinate so seamlessly? Is it just, good chemistry? Or is there something more scientific going on? Well, that's the exact mystery we're going to crack today. Turns out the main suspect in our investigation has a name, and it's been around for a while in the world of psychology. It's called a shared mental model, or an SMM for short. And this is the concept researchers believe explains that incredible coordination we see in the best teams. All right, let's put this main suspect under the microscope. What exactly is a shared mental model? Well, think of it as the team's collective brain. It's like a shared playbook that every single member has right there in their head. It's the secret architecture behind elite teamwork. Okay, so here's the formal definition from the researchers who really pioneered this idea. A shared mental model is a knowledge structure, and hey, that word structure is going to be really important later, so keep it in mind. It's what allows team members to understand what's happening and, crucially, predict what's going to happen next. And here's the payoff. Because everyone has this shared understanding, they can coordinate and adapt on the fly, almost automatically. They don't need to be in constant communication because they're all working from the same internal map. This is the how behind all that magic. So if scientists knew these SMMs were so important, case closed, right? Well, not quite. For years, the research on this was a total mess, a real cold case that frustrated pretty much everyone in the field. So here was the problem. While everyone agreed that SMMs were crucial, the studies just kept spitting out conflicting results. Some found a strong link to team success, others found a really weak one, and some found no link at all. It was this thorn in the side of the entire field, a puzzle nobody could seem to solve. The issue was that everybody was measuring this shared brain in a different way. You can kind of break it down into three things. First, how they asked team members for the information. Second, whether they just listed ideas or if they actually mapped out the connections between them. And third, how they mashed up everyone's individual answers to create one single team score. And this illustrates the problem perfectly. So one study might ask team members to just rate concepts on a scale, like how important is communication, 1 to 5. But another study might ask them to draw a whole concept map showing exactly how communication connects to planning and execution and feedback. See? These are measuring two very different things, but both were being called a shared mental model. Messy, right? So, how do you solve a cold case that has so many conflicting clues? Simple. You gather all the case files in one room and you look for a pattern. And that is exactly what a team of researchers did with this massive study called a meta-analysis. Now, they didn't just look at one study. Oh no. They combined the data from 23 different studies, which covered more than 1,500 teams. This gave them some serious statistical power to see the bigger picture, to find the signal that was hiding in all that noise. And by putting all of that evidence together, something pretty amazing happened. All that confusion started to fade away, and a clear, undeniable pattern began to emerge. The solution to the measurement mess was finally in sight. And here it is, the big one. The breakthrough that finally cracked the case. It turns out it absolutely matters how you measure a team's shared knowledge. And the secret ingredient? It's all about structure. So check this out. This is the first half of the reveal. When the researchers looked at what predicts a team's process, how smoothly they coordinate and plan and back each other up, the results were just stunning. Measurement methods that captured the structure of knowledge, they were really strong predictors. And the methods that didn't? They predicted almost nothing, like basically zero. But here's where it gets really interesting. When they looked at the final outcome, or performance, it didn't seem to matter. Whether you measured the deep structure of their knowledge or just the surface-level stuff, both were pretty good predictors of whether the team got the job done in the end. So what is going on here? Let's use an analogy. Think of it this way. Knowledge content is like having a list of ingredients for a cake. Flour, sugar, eggs. But knowledge structure is having the actual recipe that tells you how to combine them, in what order, and at what temperature. This table really puts it all together. Sharing just the ingredients, the content, can still get you a pretty good final result, right? Which is why it predicts performance.
But if you want a smooth process, the how, then everyone on the team needs the shared recipe. They need the structure.
So let's bring this all home. What does this whole scientific detective story actually mean for you, for your job, or for any team you're part of? Why does this stuff matter in the real world?
Okay, here's the bottom line. Just dumping information on your team, sharing the list of ingredients, that can help you hit a target. But if you really want to capture that magic we talked about at the beginning, that seamless coordination where a team just clicks, you have to build a shared understanding of how it all fits together. You need the shared recipe, because a great process is what creates consistent, repeatable success time and time again.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Think about your own team, whether it's at work, in sports, or just a project you're working on with friends. Are you all just working off the same list of facts? Or have you truly taken the time to build and share a common playbook? Because the answer could be the secret to unlocking your team's absolute best.